Hello, space friends. Captain Snuggles here. Back to continue my unscripted, off the cuff little mini campaign in X4 Foundations. Once again, the in game goal of this little campaign is to clear out all the Xenon from Faulty Logic, Miss Artemis, and Atia's Misfortune. And the out of game goal is to take a look at fleet combat in version 7.5 as we move through these very, very, very final stages of the beta. So we are now in release candidate 3, and the only change there from last time is that they actually fixed the lost chip replacement bug that I encountered. So that's great, nice little change, but otherwise I don't expect anything really different. So I'm going to maintain my previous battle plan. Let's see. Initial housekeeping. First up. Now that we've cleared the minefields, I actually want the Condozer following the Raptor. Our main fighting force will take the lead, and the Condozer, our sort of utility ship, will follow along behind. Hopefully we'll get a chance to show off a few of the other things that the Condozer and its subordinates can do. But the Raptor, for now, will be our front line. Let's see. In addition... I already forgot I renamed the Asgard in between sessions. I was inspired by a comment to come up with a more clever name, but I didn't think the one in the comment was quite right. Number one, because it was too long to fit in the box, and number two, because I didn't think the Asgard quite performed well enough to get a really cool name. So instead, the sort of disco EDM rave laser Asgard has been renamed Daft Drunk. We'll see if it can earn itself a less insulting name over the course of this episode. But for now, I think that's the name it earned last time. All right. Now then, let's see. Here we are. I've transferred my flag over to the Raptor since it's leading. And we're just going to try and push through Atia's Misfortune here. Oh, hell yeah. We are immediately going to have a fleet battle on our hands. And it's right on the far side of the gate, so that's kind of cool. Let's see. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to set my bombardment wings to launched on both of these ships. Get my full force engaged in the battle on the far side of the gate. Now then, I think I'll move the Raptor through first just to provide a beachhead, or a Chimera. The Chimera will jump right through. Okay, interesting. Alright, so the Raptor is moving.
Hello.
Wonder if the Xenon will chase that one Chimera back through the gate. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Huh, they've already been softened up by something. Interesting. Yeah, there was just a poll somebody put out on Reddit asking what kind of new ship the Xenon could use. One of the options was an auxiliary ship to repair their fighters. Not gonna lie, looking at this, that seems like that might actually be a good idea. Alright, now then. We're taking our sweet time here.
Jump gate.
Oh, I was 4 kilometers out of range of being able to jump. And the Raptor is going the wrong direction, so we're going to try and manually send it into range of the gate. See how that works. Let's see. So one of the things I'm hoping to show off here is my honestly kind of silly little fit. My Buzzard Sentinel sniper fit here. So while the Raptor slowly navigates into position, let's take a look at it. So, it is a Buzzard Sentinel, which is already off to a bad start. It has 2 Mark I mass drivers and a dumbfire launcher with Mark I heavy dumbfire missiles. Which one of my regular commenters and an X4 weapons expert commented that my fits were pretty weird last time. Well, buddy ain't seen nothing yet, because look at this beauty. So basically, I had noticed in these later versions of the beta that fighters with one missile launcher, or with missile launchers as their secondary weapon, were actually doing better with weapon selection. Like when they had large targets to engage, they would stay back and just engage with the missile launcher. If ships have only master drivers on them, they still fly into basically melee range. Well, no, excuse me. They dump their entire clip from out of range, waste their whole cooldown, and miss every shot. Then they fly into basically melee range and explode. But if they have one missile launcher on them, they will actually stay at an appropriate range and try to engage with their missile launchers only against large targets. And if they happen to have a weapon system that matches, like Master Driver, they will fire all shots at the same time with that. So basically, that was a long-winded way of saying that because of the new way that fighters use missiles, I've selected these Mark I Master Drivers just as a reasonably cheap little supplement to that missile DPS. Right, having totally botched my way through that explanation,
Okay.
we suddenly have some... Oh, hell yeah, hang on. We suddenly have some violence to look at, and now instead of listening to me ramble about it, you all can just watch it work. Here we go.
Sentinel.
Yeah, see, there we go. Fired off its Master Driver volley and its dumbfire missile, and it's pulling back to range. It's going to circle back around and do the same thing again. It's not super efficient, but these also aren't very good pilots, so I imagine if I had better pilots, they would be making these firing runs faster. And it looks like we managed to kill at least one K without any of our ships blowing themselves up, so that's a good start. Alright, now then. Oh no, I've wasted too much time and now we are out of range of the gate again. Let's see.
Jump gate.
Yep.
Broadcast misfortune.
I completely botched that. I got distracted watching that K blow up and forgot to cancel my Raptor's move order, so now we are once again out of range of the gate, pointing in the wrong direction. So, why don't I take over from Tim here? Put on Sita, so that we can hopefully watch some serious action sometime soon. In fact, here, why don't I cancel this stupid recall subordinates order? And what is going on here? Why are I guess my chimeras are just sort of straying through the gate. Just, whoa, that's troubling right there. I think my chimeras are just sort of running into the actual model of the gate, not intending to go through it. But they just happen to hit the gate and go through and die. Okay, there we go. So we are through. I know you all want to watch this, but I need to hurry up and get my fighters through because I'm sure this Raptor is close to exploding. Yep. Alright. So the Raptor itself has dumbfire missiles. Oh, that poor rattlesnake is about to get just demolished. The Raptor has dumbfire missiles that are firing off. Its fighters, of course, have dumbfire missiles that are firing off. The buzzards should be in the air as well. But yeah, you can see why I wanted to go the beachhead maneuver again. moving my capital ships through, because this is just an absolute freaking firestorm they're jumping into. I'm gonna do that. And hopefully get my rattlesnakes involved. Alright. Oh, hell yeah. Alright, we've got full DPS on the field now. It should be good. We'll see if we can kill this eye before the rattlesnake explodes. You can shoot your guns. Rattlesnake, no? Okay, well. Oh, that was sad. Just had a solid 5 seconds where it could have been shooting its guns at its target, but it wasn't. But, aside from that, that was a pretty convincing kill on that eye, and actually I think both my destroyers survived.
K.
My Raptor still has its shields.
K.
These Ks are getting taken down, so can't really complain about that. A third K even joined the fight back here. Already one I and one K down. Second K down. Let's pan over and take a look at this last one. Look at that swarm of fighters there. Yeah, again, these are not even specific anti-capital fits. We have my sniper buzzard backline and my multi-purpose brawler chimeras up front. But that was a pretty convincing win there. And, that's interesting. There's nothing in the patch notes about them stopping fighters from crashing into things and blowing each other up with their missiles. But I only lost 3 fighters there. And I think a couple of them were already lost to begin with by just trickling through the gate. I wonder if they actually fixed something about that this patch, because this was a considerably more chaotic fight than the previous one in terms of me just jumping into an absolute hellstorm. But I lost way fewer fighters. And again, last time it was mostly friendly fire that killed my fighters. Interesting. Really interesting. They might have actually made some changes there, which would be super cool. Alright. Well, with that being done, I'm now just going to start sort of gritting my way through the system, pushing my way just through the length of it, destroying any ships that I find, especially military ships, and also queuing up attack orders on the daft junk here to kill stations. This looks like it's going well enough out of sector. So let's go ahead and queue this up. I'm just going to keep queuing up basic attacks. Ragnos showed up in the comments of my last video saying that his method unfortunately no longer worked in this new version, which is too bad because his method was super cool for taking down stations. I might still try my old manual station surround method, but it sounds like that one particular one that he used is now defunct. Makes me a little sad, so it goes. This reminded me I had some destroyers queued up back here. Oh heck yeah, all 8 are already finished. So, in case you don't know about this trick, the factions basically do not use their own equipment docks, so they are always fully stocked, whereas their shipyards frequently are super depleted. So you can order minimum loadouts from the shipyard or wharf, and then send them to the equipment dock to upgrade, and it will be a much lower price, and it's also going to get done faster because the equipment dock is more likely to actually have all the materials it needs. So let's see. Standard. I'm going to trust that I have put on a decent loadout for what I'm calling standard, which, yeah, looks good enough. Alright. Yeah, see it. A full upgrade on 8 Odyssey for 31 million is not too bad, although we're still out of shield components. Alright, well, you get to see my expert logistics at work briefly as I find myself something to bring shield components down there. Of course, most of these ships should get upgraded anyway, just the last few will not get their shields for a while. But I'd like to go ahead and move that along. So, well, Heron's the first thing I see. So, we're going to use that. Nice. Let's queue that up. I think that's going to be enough. Accept. Alright, dock to trade. There we go. We'll deal with that later. Alright, now then, back to the actual battle at hand. I'm going to start pushing these fighters through the system. This rattlesnake barely made it. I thought it was done. I thought it was absolutely doomed when it jumped into those capital ships, but it managed to get out of there with probably about 20% hull. So pretty impressive there. I was obviously not impressed by the other rattlesnake not firing its guns, but at least this one managed to get out. I unfortunately did not look to see if it boosted to get out or not. We're gonna say it probably did, because let's be real, it would not have survived that many graviton turrets if it didn't. So at least there is that. Now then. Oh no. I probably should have been paying more attention. I have just sent my fighters into their doom here. Well, goodbye, 4 chimeras. I did not expect quite this many stations in here. We'll have to take the next steps a little bit more incrementally, I suppose. But our warp is still perfectly fine on supplies, so aside from the unfortunate loss of my pilots over here, the loss of the ships is not anything really super crippling. So yeah, I need to move up my fighters in a little bit more of a stepwise fashion, I suppose. Make sure they don't just plow into any undiscovered threats. What is attacking me over here? Oh, it's a mining ship. Nice. Alright, yeah. Daft Drunk's still wiggling around over here. The destroyers are all lined up. Still doing great. Love to see it. Have my 3 replacement chimeras from the previous fight coming in. So everything is looking good so far. Alright, let's see. I think I want to turn off reinforce lead positions, turn on resupply carrier, the same for beta group, and I'll just have Gamma as the reinforcement wing. And let's see. I'm not seeing much reason to move up the capital ships, because we're just going to have to circle back and go into Mists of Artemis anyway. So until I've spotted an actual enemy capital ship to fight, I'm just gonna engage in classic X4 gameplay and sit around on this map and move my ships around that way. Let's see. What I can do is move up my Nomad, the resupply ship, maybe grab a few more dumbfire missiles on my carriers. You do not need to do that, actually, Nomad. Nice thought, though. Thank you. I've seen quite a few complaints on Reddit about the auto dock feature of ships, It doesn't really bother me too much, but it can it can slow down progress a little bit, but all you really have to do is go in and remove the order if you don't like it. But yeah, essentially, usually auxiliary ships and basically anything that's not a carrier, they'll always keep their subordinates undocked unless they are traveling a long distance. I think it's basically if they're moving outside their own radar range, they'll try to dock their subordinates before they begin the move, which yeah can slow things down a little bit, but it's not the end of the world either way. These poor guys. I'm so sorry. My bad commander. Let's see. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that's all of the Xenon ships in Atia's Misfortune. So, I'm just gonna do the same thing in Mists of Artemis. And why don't I go ahead and move my capital ships through as well. See if we can find something to look at. I wish the action weren't quite so front-loaded, because now I don't really have a whole lot to talk about.
Condor. Sentinel.
So this is a thing.
Raptor.
This is a thing in 7.5 is
Condor. Raptor.
I think this Raptor will stay stuck indefinitely. Well, no, it's inching forward at 8 meters per second. Basically, it can't figure out a way around this Condor. And the Condor, because it's supposed to be following the Raptor, will not actually... it won't move out of the way until the Raptor is moved. So we've got a little bit of a catch-22 here. Basically, a almost indefinite traffic jam that's just, yeah, napping, essentially. The Raptor cannot figure out that it needs to turn 10 degrees left and get to the gate that way. Which means it needs my help. So, Condozer, go ahead and get over there. Also, why are... Interesting. Is my Raptor out of energy cells? No. Can't quite figure out why my Chimeras are docking at the Condozer to resupply. Okay, there we go. Well, this is also a thing, ships plowing into each other, but hey, at least the Raptor's getting through. Oh god. That's kind of brutal. This might be a good screenshot moment, huh? Maybe this can be a thumbnail. Yeah, not sure that quite captures the glory, the spectacle of this particular moment. Oh well. Oh well. Well, we're stuck again. Yeah. So this is a thing that happens. Maybe if I also tell my Raptor to move the other direction first. Maybe that'll help. Of course, now my Rattlesnake's gonna get stuck. Alright. We're clearing it up gradually. I apologize for the little bit of dead time here. There's not a whole lot to talk about. This is a space traffic jam. There we go. Physics engine finally figured out what was going on and teleported the Condor out of the way. And we get some fireworks as a consolation prize after watching that silliness. So there we go. Alright. We have finally worked it out. So now we can get the Condor back following the Raptor. Meanwhile, of course, the fighters have already been in position for like 5 minutes. I'm very glad I didn't put this position defense zone 10 kilometers farther south, because I would have had another big group of dead fighters. Right. So, we can keep moving through the system once again. I'm going to switch Beta off to the east and Gamma to the center, because Gamma is my reinforcement group. Are we going to kill these things? Fighters? Low attention combat has been pretty dang slow lately. If this were high attention, these 3 Xenon ships would have been dead ages ago. In fact, where's my live stream view? And just to show that, let me pop into high attention real quick. Yep, that's one down. And that sounds like the last one exploded there. So yeah, that took what, maybe 10 seconds in high attention? It was taking multiple minutes in low attention. There's always been a considerably reduced DPS in low attention, but it is getting pretty extreme now. Not quite sure what the rationale there is, but well, it's a thing. It exists. Now then, pushing through the system. We have one very brave Katana out here. Chasing around a T for some reason. Good luck with that. Now then. Okay, heck yeah. Daft Junk is on the offensive once again. So, let's see. We'll take out the solar power plant first. So let's get rid of that and that. And attack that. We'll just queue up our whole set of attack orders, like so. And if I happen to be back in high attention, Chimera, what are you doing? Why did you fly through there? Alright, if we happen to be back in high attention while the Daft Junk is still at work, we might try a different attack strategy on this third one. But for right now, I will just queue up this basic attack order and call it good. Oh yeah, I should probably rescue my people, huh? Let's see.
Entering system. Mists of Artemis.
There we go. Okay. Alright. New system. So there's our fence platform we'll have to take down. There is a Ka'ak installation way back there. And I do really want to take that down because that is guarding the Sapporo, which I would really like to pick up on this character. I still have not done it. It would be a nice little addition both to my personal ship lineup and also to future fleets. The Sapporo is not a great direct combat ship, but it does have wide radar range, which is pretty useful for certain scenarios, so it's nice to have one or two around. Now, I really hope there is something to actually fight in this system. We'll see. Other than a single Hive Guard. Which, yeah, once again, really unimpressive low attention combat. So, let's look at it in high attention and see how many seconds it lasts. And there we go. 3 seconds. It might be something, not like a systemic issue with low attention combat in general. It might just be tau accelerators not being coded very well for low attention, or being badly nerfed in low attention, if you want to call it that. Hard to say. Low attention is kind of like it's a black box. We understand some things about it, but not all that many relative to high attention. Well, I gotta say, this is pretty boring so far. I did get the suggestion last time that I fill some of these dead spaces by talking about my fleet compositions a little bit more, which is fair. So, yeah, I guess. So with position defense specifically, don't die, Gamma Group. With position defense specifically, I like to have just a bunch of multi-purpose fighters, multi-role fighters, because position defense groups don't discriminate between targets. If there's something in their zone here, and they shoot it until it's dead or they are. So, that's why I've brought just a tremendous number of identically fit chimeras for this fleet, is because, well, it's position defense. I just want all the fighters to be able to fight anything. So that's what this chimera fit is all about. And that's why it is the mainstay of this fleet. Usually I like to have a little bit more of an even split between bombardment and interception, so on a Raptor like this with 120 ship capacity, I believe it is, I would probably have something like probably 40 to 60 bombardment, about 40 interceptors, and about 40 multi-purpose fighters, somewhere in there. That being said, the Raptor is an absolutely awful choice for that kind of fleet loadout because it takes a million years to dock and undock its fighters. So I would never use this ship for that, but if I did, that is the theoretical balance of ships I would use in my fleet. Now then, I've uncovered a lot of stations for the Daft Drunk to blow up, but I found absolutely nothing for my fighters to shoot at, which is making this about as boring as you could possibly imagine. So maybe I will move my Raptor into a safer location so it doesn't blow up to this defense platform in low attention. And I'll teleport over to the Daft Drunk and see if it's redeeming itself at all. Just as soon as I think my Raptor is safe-ish, I'll flip the script. I'll do the station attack in high attention, and this little bit of sector clearing in low attention. Why are my shields gone? That's why my shields are gone. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Alright. So yeah, the Condor collided with the Raptor and knocked out about half its shields, but this time the physics engine kicked in faster and teleported it back. Alright, in the interest of having something that is not just the weird semi-glitchy interactions like that, let's head over here and see how this fleet is doing.
Entering system. Atya's misfortune.
Alright, well, the initial spread is not bad. Let's see how it proceeds as time passes. I might, because it is still a station assault, it's not very exciting. I think I will probably still put this in CETA.
Solar power plant.
There we go. We'll speed things along, see how it progresses, see how long it takes for the Asgard to actually land up a shot. So yeah, it's looking like probably more than half of the ships are firing, which is not bad. That's better than previous betas. But alright. Destroyed one module, and alright, they're rotating to just the next one. So all good there. Alright, Asgard is firing. now we're getting some movement, but nobody's doing anything dumb so far. So far, so good. Yeah, that all looks fine. Go back and check on other groups. Yeah, it looks like they're going to have absolutely nothing to do until it's time to take down the Ka'ak installation, which these fighters are really not suited for. Maybe I can at least bait out some Ka'ak that they can shoot at. Alright, now this is going to be the tricky part. We have ships bumping into each other and teleporting around back there, but that's nothing unusual. Okay. It's looking fine so far. I think probably teleporting in after the initial approach was done was probably pretty helpful. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to have some low tension combat going on with the fighters and just the perimeter guards of this installation. Not too worried about that. Fighters are pretty tough. Oh, nice. Completed a mission. Heck yeah. These guys are still just teleporting like crazy. Look at him go. Jeez Louise. Alright. Got the first sketchy maneuver going on. Then I think the Phoenix can probably escape from just that one defense module if it doesn't just stop in space. It's just going to stop in space, isn't it? Or it will fly directly into the next one instead of turning away like it was about to do. Yeah. Yep. Oh, so it goes. Let's see. Let me get up. Oh, yep, it's already gone. Thought I'd be able to take a more detailed look, but the Phoenix has already exploded. So, looks like now it is this Odysseus' turn to do something dangerous, but it's taking a slightly smarter path at least. But now it's turning back into the station gun. So why are you turning up? Why are you turning into danger? Yeah, it's not like ships didn't do this in 7.1 and 7.0, but they would not turn back into the station like this. They would try and get away. Yeah. This Odysseus is flying directly into the thing that's shooting it. It's pretty wild. At least there's another dumb ship that's taking some of the fire for it. This guy just kept going. It might have gotten away, but I kind of doubt it. So, alright. Now the Phoenix has gone in and is just sort of parking here. But it's actually in a spot where the station can't really hit it. Yeah, see? But these guns can't adjust their declination low enough to hit the Phoenix, and the top ones also can't. So it's right in the sweet spot. Somehow I doubt that was calculated. But, we can give the Phoenix pilot some credit. We'll say this was a calculated risk, and this guy happens to be very good at math. Let's see. But yeah, now he's ended up in a spot where the gravitons can hit him. We'll see if the Phoenix just hangs out there, or if it manages to move into a safer spot. Meanwhile, Daft Drunk back here putting on a light show for us. Alright, there's another ship flying directly into graviton range, but I think it's going fast enough. Didn't get punished for it. But then there's another one.
Odysseus.
Yeah, there they come. But it's boosting, it's gonna get out. So that's alright, as long as it doesn't fly into the next turret, it'll be okay.
Phoenix. E.
Phoenix, though, is another story. Alright, tell you what, this I don't think we can get away at this point, but I'm gonna try. Boost, you fool, boost. Wow, that's glitchy. It was worth a shot. Yeah, I think I've probably shown you how the AI. I've probably shown you sufficiently how the AI handles itself with no player interaction. So I thought maybe I could micro a little bit and save my Phoenix there. I was incorrect. So alright. Well, that's a little depressing. But let's see, after all that, how are we looking?
Solar power plant.
Station is half dead, so there's that. And the formation of my destroyers is pretty good, the ones that survived. But only a couple are actually able to aim and fire with their main guns. Let's see, this Odysseus,
Odysseus. E. Behemoth.
this Behemoth, this Phoenix,
E.
the other 4 destroyers, and the Asgard are... oh no, a couple of them actually are firing. They're just taking a weird angle, firing through the station. So, how many ships do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I believe 5 or 6 of my 8 ships. Yeah, 5 of my 8 ships are attacking. The others are wandering. But at least there's that. At least the majority of the ships are shooting the station. For whatever that's worth. There goes the Asgard at last.
Solar power plant. Odysseus. E.
And alright. I think we see how this is going to turn out now. I think the danger period is over, and that these ships have settled into firing positions that's
Behemoth. E.
that they will be reasonably safe in the rest of the siege. I hope.
Phoenix.
I hope.
E.
Oh no. I'm just gonna keep watching this spectacle for a little bit longer. Just see how these destroyers get around to firing positions to hit these remaining modules over here. Okay, looks like they're just pulling in to attack the admin module here. So, all right, I think we're okay from here. So, let's see. Well, I will need to reconsider my strategy here. I might go ahead and push the 2 carriers into Atya's Misfortune 1, try and find some more actual fleet combat. And meanwhile, I will pull my newly refit destroyers into the Asgard fleet to replace all the ones I just lost and increase my damage output for all of these stations we have to demolish. All right, let's go ahead and pile these into one wing there. There we go. All right. Well, that was a little bit of a disjointed episode, I suppose, but it is getting down to. It's getting on towards the time to wrap it up, as my game conveniently autosaves, sending me a message that, yeah, it's probably time to hang up this episode. So as soon as I get myself back into a
Mists of Argus.
cinematic position, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. So, There we go. I know there were still a lot of issues that I showed off today, but there are a few cool things too. Like I really do like the sniper buzzards a lot. I know they're a silly little fit that's better accomplished with many other ships, but I like that they are an effective thing now. Yeah, it brings me a certain amount of joy. And I'm happy that that one bug got fixed from last time. So, it is certainly not all bad. It's still pretty rough around the edges, but, well, bug fixes are still getting put out. There might still be one or two more release candidates that might clean up a little bit of this behavior. So, fingers crossed. But again, this is probably pretty close to the final product. So once again, I look forward to lively debates in the comments about your thoughts and feelings about this update. So, with all that being said, I'm going to wrap it up for now, and hopefully get you a little bit more action and excitement next time. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll tune in next time. And until then, this is Captain Snuggles, signing off.